Okay, it's one thing to be censored by the state or by Facebook or YouTube or by moronic Brit coppers shamefully knocking on your door because they don't like your tweet. But what about when you're censored by forces you've never even heard of? Do you know what an ISP is? That's an internet service provider. Yeah, we all do, sort of. It's one of those boring hoops you need to jump through in order to roam the World Wide Web. But once you're up and roaming, you sort of assume you're roaming the same World Wide Web as everybody else. But not if your ISP is something called Free, and you're a fan, as I am, of the Conservative Woman website. If you use that particular ISP, Free's company, but the Conservative Woman's a crowd. Yeah, look at that. That's what you get. That's what customers of Free were faced with if they tried to access the spirited journalism of the Conservative Woman. Oh, so it says secure connection failed. That sounds something boring and technical, like a misconfiguration of your SSL certificate or some such. No. The anonymous, shadowy, dark forces behind the blandly named free.co.uk decided to place the Conservative Woman on the same blocked list as hardcore pornographers and the like. We asked Free to explain why they did this to the Conservative Woman, and they sent us the following statement. As with all MNOs, Free is required to follow regulations that block websites that are classed as containing adult content. By adult content, they mean adolescent content, which is generally sexual type stuff. The responsibility for the guidelines and reviewing of websites is managed by the British Board of Film Classification, and Free implement their decisions following their review on whether a website contains adult content. We are currently clarifying the status of conservativewoman.co.uk from BBFC and are awaiting feedback from them. Best Bethan. Okay? I've never met Bethan. So we're not friends. We're not on a first name basis. So I'd like to know Bethan's surname. But with the laughably misnamed customer service that you get from the ISP3, you don't really know who Bethan is, do you? But for the moment, Free appear to have backed down and the Conservative Woman is accessible again. That's because the site's founder is not someone to pick a fight with, but there are lessons for all of us here, especially if you're a customer of Free. And Kathy Gyngell, the founder of the Conservative Woman, joins us now, and we're always glad to see her. Kathy, their argument is that you've got lots of adult content. So I take it that the Conservative Woman is the one-stop shop if you want to see transgender bestiality or whatever you've got going on there. Is that what your site's been about all these years?
I'd like to reassure viewers that we don't have sort of strange, sad, idiotic Tory MPs working for us, sort of secretly putting their porn on our website. No. The real irony is, and it actually made me laugh, we're the Ultimate Family Values website. I mean, you couldn't make this up, Mark. I mean, you know, my drug legalizer sort of trolls and critics would consider me the sort of reincarnation of Mary Whitehouse. I mean, so how the British Board of Film Censors compliance officers, yes, of course, they're compliance officers, in their wisdom, judge our content to be adult, beggars belief. Of course, we're grown up. We're not infantile. But the interesting definition is something called harmful content. Well, you know, you can define harmful content anyway, can't you? If it suits you and you don't like what we're doing, which is to actually make sure young people think and have ideas and are better educated for reading our website than going on the MSM.
Yeah, it's interesting. You actually are adult content in the sense that you write about what is happening in the world, and a lot of it is crazy. And when you report on the craziness, they seem to have concluded that is somehow dangerous to people. Now, are you actually confident that 3 won't do the same thing to you again? Because these are all weaselly people, and we know that the real harmful word in your name is conservative, and that's the sort of thing that woke interns think have to be repressed.
Yeah, no, I'm not confident at all. In fact, like you, I'm a lot more educated 5 days later than I was 5 days ago about internet service providers and so on. There is one thing, there's a sort of free market in them. I think I've identified about 10 of them so far. Unfortunately, 2 others use the British Board of Film Censors to do their adult monitoring. So that doesn't fill me for great hope. I think it's O2 and Vodafone. And who knows, they might be blanking us out now until users, readers, contact us and say, why do I get this notice on my screen? We don't know there's a problem. And because we're only 3 or 4 people. Oh, by the way, our all-woman team too. I mean, you really couldn't make this up. We're an all-woman team. I mean, we've got a devout Catholic as well as the original co-editor. I mean, it beggars belief. But anyway, no, I'm not confident. But everyone has to really understand how this works out more, and I understand better now, and you have to make a big fuss, and you have to name and shame relentlessly. I don't know what else you do. Otherwise, we all end up being pamphleteers because they'll unperson us.